Once again, this is Dr. Sineja from Ghana and Accra. I present this 59-year-old man from Benin with Rhegmatogenous Retina Detachment. He is a non-hypertensive, diabetic, and CKD on oral medications only and goes for dialysis twice weekly. With the background history, we talked that it was actually the tractional retinal detachment due to diabetes, so we actually prepared him for that. But when he came, we confirmed Rhegmatogenous retina detachment. So I proceeded to theater after doing all the necessary examination and confirming the diagnosis. Usually at this age, I remove the lens irrespective of the status of the lens because they tend to become cataractous within a very short time. And also thinking that I may put a gas, I just go ahead to remove the lens. Because of the soft nucleus, in no time I had finished removing the cataract and injected my intraocular lens. In a younger patient, the subcapsular opacification which they get from the gas clears quite fast. This is not always the case with adults, so I normally remove the lens. Here I injected hydrophilic lens, although I would have preferred hydrophobic. I think the hydrophobic lens offer better option. They remain clear for a long time, unlike the hydrophilic lens which gets stained with cell debris. After closing my phaco incision and the 3 ports, I added additional trocar for the chandelier. Chandelier is a very useful tool. It offers you free hand to indent, provide better illumination, and sometimes you can do bimanual surgery with it if necessary, especially in the case of the diabetics. But I don't use it as routine. After staining the vitreous with triamcinolone, I decided to clear the vitreous just behind the lens. And I think this procedure has landed me in a problem down the line, which you will see in a moment. I noticed there's pre-existing PVD, making my work much easier. I check by using my back flash to disperse the triamcinolone crystals on the macula and the disc. So I proceeded to do the peripheral shaving and some of the hanging tags, as you can see, removing them and slowly indenting. This is where the use of the chandelier becomes very handy because I don't need an assistant. I have a good assistant that helps me in indentation, but with the chandelier, it's always better. We always end up striking the correct when somebody else is indenting and not seeing the area that is indenting. So chandelier can be very helpful. So here I'm doing the peripheral shaving with self-indentation. You can also appreciate how bright the working field looks like because of the chandelier. Here I'm using both the light pipe and the chandelier. So at this point, I started noticing something that I should have paid more attention to. I noticed that my lens doesn't look to be in place. But at this point, I was concentrating on just the shaving. So here I'm now marking the edges of the break in preparation for air fluid exchange. Until this happened, boom, my lens has fallen. Well, I shouldn't be surprised if you go back to the beginning of the video where I was doing the phaco. I saw this deepening of the AC whenever I entered the AC with my phaco probe, indicating that my zonules were weak. So due to the deepening of the AC, I might have damaged the posterior capsule with my cutter. Well, with my ILM forceps, I managed to bring it to the pupillary margin and then use my cutter through the hole to hold it. I first wanted to use the same ILM forceps to hold it because it could come out of the cutter, but I discovered that it was not stable, so I used the McPherson forceps to hold it and deliver the haptic outside the eye just to support it. At this point, I decided to add more viscoelastic to protect the cornea, and slowly I delivered the whole lens on top of the iris. The aim here is to put the lens in the sulca. I've noticed there's enough capsule that can provide some support. You must make sure all the haptics are out of the bag, otherwise your lens will be unstable. Now I went back to start doing my air fluid exchange. Before placing my laser, because it gives me a better, wider view when it is air-filled. Whilst doing the airflow exchange, I noticed some bleeding flowing towards my macula, so immediately I had to apply laser around it to stop the bleeding. I first start applying laser around the bricks and then proceed to do 360 degrees laser if necessary. Notice my lens has moved during the airflow exchange, so I put it back by dialing again until it became stable. Before I inject my gas, I need to adjust the pressure by allowing some of the viscoelastic to come out and then inject 0.7 ml pure C3F8. So the lessons learned: be careful of your posterior capsule when working close to the lens, and the usefulness of chandelier light. I find placing the chandelier inferior much better than superior. This is because the light probe doesn't illuminate the superior part, especially between 10 to 2. Thank you for watching Dr. Seneja.